I came to the ranch in a broken carriage. Dust covered my dress and my face. My heart beat fast. I was tired, lost, and scared. A tall man stood near the gate. His eyes were cold, dark like the storm clouds behind him. "Who are you?" he asked. "My name is Emma Gray," I said softly. "I came for the wedding." His brow tightened. "Wedding? There's no wedding here." "But I was told to come," I whispered. "They said this is the Tanner Ranch." He nodded slowly. "It is. But my bride is from Texas, not from—" He stopped, looking at my small suitcase. "Not from wherever you came." I wanted to explain, but words stuck in my throat. "Please," I said. "Maybe there is a mistake," the man sighed. "Mistake or not, you can't stay here." Before I could answer, a small voice came from behind him. "Daddy, who is she?" A little girl peeked out, her brown hair messy, her dress too big for her. "Mia, go inside," the man said. But Mia didn't move. She looked at me, then smiled. "She looks nice," she said. "Can she stay?" Luke's jaw clenched. "No, she's not supposed to be here." I felt shame rise inside me. My eyes burned. I wanted to turn back, but the road behind me was empty and far. "I have nowhere to go," I said. "Please, just one night." Luke looked away, thinking. Finally, he said, "You can sleep in the guest room. Tomorrow we'll send you back." "Thank you," I whispered. Mia ran to me and held my hand. "Don't be sad," she said. "God finally sent you to us." Her words hit something deep inside me. For a second, I couldn't breathe. Luke frowned. "Mia, that's enough." But she only smiled again and pulled me inside. The house smelled of wood smoke and silence. The walls were filled with pictures of a woman and a baby. I felt like an intruder in someone else's memory. Luke's mother came from the kitchen, wiping her hands. "Who is this?" she asked. "A mistake," Luke said shortly. The woman's eyes narrowed. "We don't take strangers, Luke." He turned away. "It's just one night." I wanted to say something, but I stayed quiet. My voice would only make things worse. Later, Mia brought me a small blanket. "You can use mine," she said. I smiled weakly. "Thank you, Mia. You're very kind." She nodded. "You look lonely," she whispered. "Like Daddy." Her words stayed with me after she left. I sat on the edge of the bed, listening to the wind hit the windows. How did I end up here? I was supposed to marry Daniel. He promised to take care of me, to give me a home. But he sent me away instead. He said it was only a delay, that I'd understand soon. Now I was here, in the wrong ranch, with a man who looked at me like a curse. That night, I prayed for the first time in months. "God," I said softly, "I don't know why I'm here. But please, help me stay strong." Outside, I heard the creak of a door and soft footsteps. Luke's voice came from the hall. "She'll leave in the morning," he said. Then his mother's voice answered, "She looks like trouble." Luke sighed. "They all do." I closed my eyes. The words hurt more than I wanted to admit. I was not supposed to be here. Yet when I remembered Mia's tiny hand in mine and her whisper, "God finally sent you to us," I felt something strange. Hope. Maybe this mistake was not a mistake after all. The next morning, no one spoke to me. I sat at the long table, silent. Luke drank his coffee without looking at me. His mother, Mrs. Tanner, placed bread on my plate but said nothing. The air felt heavy, full of cold eyes and quiet hearts. "Will you send me back?" I asked softly. Luke didn't look up. "You came here. You can leave when you want." I wanted to say I had nowhere to go, but my voice failed. I just nodded. Mia climbed onto the bench beside me. "You can stay," she whispered. "Daddy's not mean. He just forgets how to smile." I smiled back at her, but my heart hurt. "Maybe I can remind him," I said. She giggled and hugged my arm. "Then you can be my mama." Her words froze me. Mrs. Tanner looked up sharply. "Mia," she said, "finish your milk." After breakfast, I washed dishes while they talked in low tones near the door. I heard my name once, maybe twice. Then silence again. The day stretched long. The wind outside carried dust and the smell of old hay. I cleaned the small room they gave me, then helped Mia feed the chickens. She laughed when one jumped into her lap. "You're not afraid," I said. "Daddy says brave girls don't cry," she said. "Do you cry?" I looked at the pale sky. "Sometimes, but brave people cry too." She nodded, as if she understood. Later, Luke came to the barn. His steps were firm, his face hard. "Don't spoil her," he said. "I'm not," I replied quietly. "She just needs kindness." He looked at me for a moment, then turned away. "Kindness doesn't fix everything." "I know," I said, "but it helps people breathe again." He stopped, as if my words surprised him. Then he left. Evening came fast. The ranch glowed under the orange sky. I cooked stew, unsure if they'd eat it. Mrs. Tanner tasted it first, then passed bowls to everyone. Luke said nothing but ate in silence. After dinner, I stepped outside. The night was cool. Stars hung low like small candles. I sat near the barn, listening to the horses. The smell of hay felt warm, like an old memory. I whispered, "God, why am I here?" My voice broke. Was this your plan or just a cruel mistake? Tears came slowly. I tried to stop them, but they fell anyway. I pressed my hands together, asking for courage. "Miss Emma?" I turned. Henry, the stable hand, stood by the door. His face was kind, dusty, tired. "You shouldn't cry alone," he said gently. "I'm fine," I said. "I just need a little peace." He shook his head. "No one gets peace here." "Not yet. What do you mean?" I asked. He looked up at the stars. "This place has seen too many tears. Mr. Tanner lost his wife in this barn. She died after Mia's birth. Since then, silence became his friend. I felt a sting in my chest. I didn't know." "You weren't supposed to," he said. "He doesn't talk about it. He thinks if he stays quiet, pain won't find him again." I nodded slowly. "Silence can be worse than pain." Henry smiled faintly. "You're right. But maybe you were sent here to break it." "Me?" I asked, surprised. "I'm no one. I was left here by mistake." He shrugged. "Mistakes make strange miracles sometimes." We stood there for a while, saying nothing. The night wind brushed my face. Somewhere, a horse neighed softly, as if agreeing. When I walked back to my small room, Mia's tiny voice stopped me from the doorway. "Miss Emma?" She whispered. "Yes, dear." She rubbed her eyes. "Will you still be here tomorrow?" I smiled. "Yes, I'll be here." She reached out her hand. I took it gently. "Good," she said. "Then I can sleep." She closed her eyes and I watched her breathe. For the first time in many days, I felt something inside me shift, a small spark of peace. Maybe Henry was right. Maybe God did send me here, not for punishment, but for healing. As I lay down that night, I whispered one last word before sleep took me. Hope. The wind was cold that morning. I stood near the fence feeding the horses. I could feel Luke's eyes on me. For days he had not said a word. Then I heard his voice behind me. "You don't belong here," he said. I turned. I didn't ask to come. He walked closer. "Women like you always bring trouble." I wanted to speak, but fear held my tongue. "I'm not like them," I said softly. He laughed without joy. "That's what my wife said." I looked down. "What happened to her?" He froze. "She died giving birth to Mia." His voice broke on the last word. For a moment, the strong man looked small. "I'm sorry," I whispered. He looked away. "Don't be. God took her. Maybe he sent you to test me." I wanted to tell him the truth, that I was never meant to be here. But his pain stopped me. That night the wind grew strong. Mia coughed again and again. Margaret called for me. "Emma, she can't breathe." I ran to the little girl's room. Her face was red, her hands cold. I held her close. "Stay with me, Mia. You'll be fine," I said, shaking. Luke came in, his eyes wild. "What are you doing?" "Trying to help her," I said. "Get water." He hesitated, then obeyed. For hours we stayed by her side. I sang softly, holding her hand. "Don't leave me, baby," I whispered. She looked up weakly. "You're warm, Mama." I froze. Luke heard it too. He didn't correct her. When dawn came, Mia slept peacefully. The fever broke. I leaned back, exhausted. Luke stood near the door. "You didn't have to stay," he said quietly. "I couldn't leave her," I replied. He watched me in silence. Then he said, "You prayed?" "Yes," I said. "For her life. Did it help?" he asked. I smiled faintly. "She's alive, isn't she?" He sighed and walked out. I sat there, holding Mia's small hand. My own hands trembled. I felt something inside me shift. Maybe God did send me here, for this child, for this broken man, or maybe for myself. Later that day, Henry came to the porch. Mail for you, he said. I frowned. For me? He nodded. From the city. I took the letter. My heart beat fast. I knew the handwriting. Daniel Carter. My stomach twisted. I wanted to tear it apart, but my hands wouldn't move. Luke came by just then. Who's that from? He asked. No one, I lied. He stepped closer. You look pale. I'm fine. Read it, he said. Now, I shook my head. It's private. He crossed his arms. You're hiding something. Please, I said. Just let me be. He left, but I saw the doubt in his eyes. When I finally opened the letter, the words cut deeper than any knife. Emma, forgive me. I had no choice. They offered money. You'll be safe there. I swear, my breath caught. Daniel had sold me. My own fiancé sold me like property. Tears blurred the ink. I whispered, Why, Daniel? Why? Mia's small voice came from behind me. You're crying. I wiped my face. It's nothing, honey. She climbed into my lap. Daddy says crying makes you strong. I smiled through tears. Maybe he's right. She touched my cheek. Don't be sad. God sent you to us. Her words pierced me. I held her close, heart breaking and healing at the same time. That night, as the stars filled the sky, I sat by the window with the letter in my hand. The pain was deep, but so was the strange peace inside me. Maybe this ranch was never a mistake. Maybe it was where my past would end and my new life would begin. I held the letter in my hands. It shook. My name was written in Daniel's neat handwriting. My heart beat fast. I opened it and started to read. Emma, it said, you must understand. I had no choice. They offered me money. I took it. Money. My chest hurt. I kept reading. You will be safe there. The man is rich. You will live. My tears fell on the page. I whispered, You sold me. The words broke in my mouth. I wanted to tear the paper apart, but my hands felt weak. I dropped to my knees. The floor felt cold under me. Margaret's voice came from the hall. Emma, are you all right? I didn't answer. I couldn't. My voice was gone. Then Luke's heavy steps came closer. What happened? He asked. I hid the letter, but he saw it. Who wrote that? I tried to stay calm. No one, I said. He grabbed it before I could stop him. His eyes moved fast across the lines. His face turned hard. Daniel Carter, he said. This is the man you were supposed to marry? I nodded slowly. Yes. Luke threw the letter on the table. So it's true. You lied to us. I looked up. I didn't lie. He stepped closer. You didn't tell me the truth either. His voice was low, full of pain. Why did you come here, Emma? I didn't come by choice, I said. He sent me. My family helped him, he frowned. Your family? Yes, I whispered. They took money. They said I ran away with another man. Daniel sold me like I was a thing. Luke's eyes softened, but he didn't speak. The silence filled the room. I didn't know where I was going, I said. I thought Daniel would come for me, but he never did. Luke looked down. You expect me to believe that? I don't expect anything, I said. But it's the truth. He walked to the window. The sun was setting. The orange light fell on his shoulders. You don't understand, he said. I've seen lies before. They destroy everything. I know, I said. I lived one. He didn't turn around. I can't trust you. I'm not asking for that, I said. I just want peace. He stood silent for a long moment. Then he left the room. The door closed behind him with a soft sound. I sank onto the chair. My hands covered my face. My tears came again. I cried until my throat hurt. When the room grew dark, I lit a small lamp. I looked at the letter again. The ink had spread where my tears had fallen. Daniel's words blurred into nothing. I whispered, Why, God? Why me? The wind outside howled like a lost voice. The ranch felt empty, like my heart. Then I heard small footsteps. Mia stood in the doorway, holding her little wooden cross. Her hair was messy, her eyes sleepy. Why are you crying? She asked. I wiped my face. It's nothing, sweetheart. She walked closer. Daddy made this cross, she said. He used to believe in God. I smiled weakly. That's good, Mia. She held the cross out to me. Maybe you can help him believe again. Her words hit me deep. I took the cross in my hand. It was warm from her touch. I'll try, I whispered. She climbed onto my lap. Don't cry anymore, she said softly. God listens when we cry. I kissed her hair. You're a wise little girl, she smiled. Daddy says I talk too much. I laughed a little. It felt strange after so much pain. Sometimes talking helps. She looked at the letter on the table. Did someone hurt you? Yes, I said quietly. Someone I trusted. Then God will hurt him back, she said simply. Her faith was pure. I wish mine was too. After she fell asleep in my arms, I carried her to her bed. The moonlight touched her face. Peaceful, untouched by the world's lies. I went back to the table, picked up the letter again, and read the last line. Forget me. Emma, you'll live better without me. He was wrong. I wasn't living. I was surviving. I folded the letter and placed it under the cross. I won't forget, I said, but I will rise. Outside, thunder rolled far away. A new storm was coming. I felt it inside me too. I looked at the sky and whispered, maybe this is how faith begins, after everything breaks. That night, I didn't sleep. I watched the rain fall, washing the dust from the windows. The world outside was quiet, but my heart wasn't. I knew things had changed. Luke knew my truth now. Whether he believed me or not, it didn't matter. The truth was finally free. And in that painful silence, I made a promise to myself. I would not let betrayal define me. I would heal. I would help that man. And his little girl find light again. Because maybe Mia was right. Maybe God really had sent me here. The wind was wild that night. I woke up to the sound of thunder shaking the roof. The rain hit the windows hard. "Luke!" I shouted. "The wind is too strong." He ran in, boots covered with mud. "Stay inside," he said. "I'll check the barn." I followed him out before he could stop me. The sky was black, full of fire and noise. I smelled smoke. My heart froze. "Luke, the barn!" I screamed. "It's burning!" Flames climbed the old wood fast. The horses neighed, kicking at their stalls. I ran forward, but Luke grabbed my arm. "Are you crazy? You'll die in there!" "I can't let them burn." I pulled away and ran inside. The heat hit me like a wall. Smoke burned my eyes. I coughed, trying to see. "Easy, boy," I whispered, opening the first stall. The horse ran out into the storm. Another cried behind me. My dress caught on a nail, tearing. "Please, God, help me," I said. My voice shook. The roof cracked. I heard Luke shouting, "Emma, get out!" "I'm almost done." I pulled the last door open. The horse pushed past me, knocking me down. My head hit the floor. The fire roared above, then strong arms lifted me. "I told you to stay back," Luke shouted. I couldn't answer. My chest burned. He carried me out into the rain. Cold water hit my face. I gasped for air, coughing hard. Luke held me tight. "Emma, look at me," he said. His eyes were wide, full of fear. "I'm fine," I whispered. "You're wet too." He laughed once, a broken sound. "You're insane," he said. But brave. We sat on the ground, watching the barn fall. Sparks flew into the night sky. The storm washed everything in gray and smoke. "Why did you risk your life?" he asked quietly. "Because life means nothing without courage," I said. "And those horses? They needed help." He looked at me for a long time. "Maybe you were sent here for a reason," he said. "Maybe I needed to see someone still believes in hope." The word hope stuck in my chest. I didn't know what to say. Rain fell softer now. The fire died slowly. I closed my eyes, tired but alive. "I thought you'd call me crazy," I said. He smiled. "No, Emma. I called you by your name for the first time. Something warm spread in me, stronger than fear." "Thank you," I whispered. He stood up and helped me to my feet. "Go inside," he said. "You'll get sick. What about the barn?" "I'll rebuild," he said. "But I can't rebuild a life twice." His voice broke a little. "You reminded me of that." We walked back to the house in silence. Mia waited by the window, crying. I hugged her tight. "It's over, sweetheart. We're safe now," she touched my face. "You smell like fire." "I'll wash it away," I said. That night, Luke sat by the door watching the rain. "Maybe you were sent here for me to learn how to forgive," he said softly. I didn't answer. I just watched the rain slide down the glass. Forgiveness was a distant dream, but maybe, just maybe, the storm had opened a path toward it. The next morning, a knock came at the door. Sheriff Wallace stood there, his coat soaked. "Luke," he said, "we need to talk. It's about the city." And about her. I froze. The storm outside was gone, but another one had just begun inside my heart. The morning was cold. The sky looked gray and heavy. I stood on the porch, holding my shawl tight. Luke was beside me, quiet as always. When Sheriff Wallace rode up, I felt my heart race. "Morning, Luke." "Morning, Miss Gray," he said, removing his hat. Luke nodded. "You came early." "What's wrong?" The sheriff looked at both of us. "I came with news." "Bad news." I stepped forward. "Is it about Daniel Carter?" He sighed. "Yes, we caught him in the next town. He was selling women." "Your name was on his list, Miss Gray." I froze. "Selling women?" The sheriff nodded. "He's been doing it for months. Promises marriage, then sells the brides." "You were lucky, ma'am. The driver who brought you here took a wrong road. Otherwise—" He stopped. I felt sick. My legs shook. "He sold me?" Luke's face turned pale. "You mean she didn't run away? He sold her?" "Yes," the sheriff said. "I'm sorry, Luke. You both were victims in this." I looked at Luke. His eyes met mine for the first time in days. There was shock, guilt, and something like sorrow. He whispered, "I didn't believe you. I thought you were part of the trick." I swallowed hard. "You didn't want to believe me." The sheriff cleared his throat. "There's more. Daniel confessed that a woman helped him. Your sister Clara." My breath stopped. "Clara?" "Yes, she took the money. Said you wanted to escape your poor life." "I'm sorry, Miss Gray." I turned away. My tears burned my face. "She was my sister," I said quietly. Luke stepped closer. "Emma." I lifted my hand. "Please." "Not now," he sighed. The sheriff nodded and left. The sound of his horse faded down the road. Silence wrapped the ranch again. Dr. Allen came later that day. He had gentle eyes and a voice like calm rain. "I heard about Daniel," he said. "But I also came to tell you something." I frowned. "Something else?" He nodded. "About this ranch." Luke looked up. "What about it?" Dr. Allen hesitated. "Before you bought it, it belonged to a man named Joseph Gray." My heart stopped. "Gray, that's my father's name." He nodded. "Yes. Years ago, the land was taken from him after a false debt claim. The man who signed that paper was Daniel Carter's uncle." I stared at him, shaking. "You mean this ranch, this place, was my father's?" "Yes. That's the truth buried beneath," he said softly. Luke rubbed his face. "God, all this time," Dr. Allen continued. "Your being here wasn't chance. Maybe it was justice. Or grace." I didn't speak. I looked at the wooden cross Mia gave me weeks ago. My hands trembled. My heart hurt. Luke stepped closer. "Emma, I'm sorry for everything." "I treated you like a liar." I turned to him. "You treated me like the world treated me, Luke. I'm used to it." He shook his head. "No, I was wrong. You didn't deserve that." I whispered. "Words can't fix what's broken." Mia ran out of the house. "Papa, Miss Emma!" she shouted. She held a small flower in her hand. "Look, it grew near the barn!" I smiled weakly. "It's beautiful." She gave it to me. "It means hope," she said. Luke smiled sadly. "She learns these things from you." The wind grew strong. Dust lifted from the ground. The house behind us creaked. Dr. Allen touched my shoulder gently. "Sometimes the past must rise before the heart can rest." I nodded. Maybe that's why I was sent here. Not to escape pain, but to face it. Luke spoke softly. "Can you ever forgive me?" I looked at him. His voice broke on the last word. "I don't know," I said honestly. "Forgiveness is not a gift. It's a road. Maybe one day I'll walk it." He lowered his head. "I'll wait, Emma, for as long as it takes." I didn't answer. I watched Mia run in circles, laughing, her little feet touching the wet earth. She didn't know pain or betrayal. She just knew joy. For a moment, I wished I could be like her again, unbroken, trusting, free. Dr. Allen left soon after. The sun was setting behind the hills, painting the ranch gold and red. Luke and I stood in silence. The air smelled of rain and dust. Finally, he said, "This land was yours once. It should be again." I shook my head. "No, Luke, it belongs to the people who can love it. My father lost it because of greed. I won't take it back with hate." He looked at me, eyes soft. "You're stronger than anyone I've met." I smiled faintly. "No, I just learned to survive." As night fell, I sat on the porch, the flower in my hand. "Home, promise, tears, truth, hope," I whispered. The words that once felt empty, now full of meaning. I looked at the stars. Maybe God didn't send me to the wrong place after all. Luke's voice came from behind. "Emma?" Yes? He paused. Thank you for staying. I didn't turn around. I'm not sure why I stayed, I said softly. Maybe because leaving felt like giving up on faith. The wind moved again, cold but gentle. I held the flower close and whispered to the night, "This pain has roots, but so does love." And for the first time, I believed it. I was hanging clothes outside when I heard the wheels stop. A carriage, dust, silence. Then I saw her, Clara, my sister. "Emma," she said softly. "Please don't walk away." My hands froze. I looked at her face, pale, nervous, not the same proud sister I once knew. "What are you doing here?" I asked. She stepped closer. "I came to say sorry." I laughed a little, but it wasn't real. "Sorry? You helped them sell me like a thing. You took the money." Her eyes filled with tears. "I know, I was weak. I needed money. I thought you would be fine. I didn't know Daniel would do that." I shook my head. "You knew enough. You just didn't care." Mia came running from the porch. "Miss Emma, who's this?" I smiled faintly. "Someone from my past." Clara looked at Mia. "She's lovely." "You look happy here." Happy, the word stung. I'm not sure I know what that means anymore. Luke walked out of the barn then. He wiped his hands and looked at Clara, then at me. "Everything all right?" I nodded slowly. "This is Clara, my sister." He nodded back. "You can talk inside if you need to." He walked away, giving me space. Clara watched him go. "He seems kind." "He wasn't," I said. "Not at first. But pain makes people strange," she sighed. "I can't sleep at night, Emma. The guilt eats me. I need you to forgive me." I stared at her hands. The same hands that had once braided my hair. "Forgive you?" "I tried to hate you, Clara, every night. But hate only hurt me more," she cried then. "Please, just say you forgive me." I looked at Mia, standing near the doorway. She was holding her small wooden cross. "God finally sent you to us," she whispered again, smiling. Those words broke something inside me. I turned to Clara. "I forgive you, but I can't be your sister like before." "I've changed," she nodded. "That's enough." She left quietly. The sound of the carriage faded into the fields. When night came, Luke knocked on my door. "Can I come in?" "Yes." He sat on the chair near the lamp. "I saw your sister leave." "Are you all right?" "I don't know," I said. "Part of me feels empty. Part of me feels light." He leaned forward. "Emma, I need to ask something." I waited. "Stay," he said. "Not as my wife." "I won't ask that." "Stay for Mia. She needs you." I looked down at my hands. "And what about you?" He smiled sadly. "Maybe I need you too, but I'll let you decide." The room was quiet except for the rain outside. "I could leave," I whispered. "I could start again." "You could," he said. "But maybe peace isn't found by running." His words stayed in my heart long after he left. Later, I walked out into the fields. The air was cool, full of the smell of wet earth. The stars hung low, soft and clear. I closed my eyes and spoke into the dark. "God, I don't ask for revenge anymore. I only ask for peace." The wind touched my face like a promise. Mia's laughter drifted from the porch, light and pure. I smiled through tears. Maybe this place, this wrong ranch, had become my home after all. The sun was soft that morning. The wind touched my face, and I felt peace for the first time in months. I was feeding the horses when Henry came running. "Emma, the sheriff's here," he said. My hands froze. My heart beat fast. "Why? What happened?" He smiled. "Daniel Carter. They caught him." I dropped the bucket. For a moment I couldn't breathe. All the noise of the ranch faded. The past came back like a cold wind. When I reached the porch, Sheriff Wallace was there with Luke. He tipped his hat. "Ma'am, justice came today. Daniel's been arrested." "He confessed everything," I whispered. "He confessed?" "Yes, ma'am," he said. "He said he sold you. Lied about your name. Took the money and ran." My knees felt weak. Luke stepped closer. "Emma," he said softly. "It's over." I looked at him. "Is it? Can it ever be over?" He didn't answer right away. "You deserve peace." "You did nothing wrong." The sheriff left soon after. The air felt lighter, but my chest still hurt. Luke stood beside me in silence. I heard the horses, the wind, Mia's laughter from inside. "I never wanted revenge," I said. "I just wanted the truth," Luke nodded. "And now you have it." I turned to him. "Do you hate me for bringing all this here?" He shook his head. "No, Emma, you brought life here. I was dead inside before you came. His voice broke on the last word. I saw tears in his eyes. He tried to look away, but I touched his arm. "Luke," I said, "we both lost something. Maybe that's why we found each other." He sighed. "You make this place feel like home again." We stood there, quiet. The sky turned gold as the sun went down. Mia came running out holding a small flower in her hand. "Mama!" she shouted. I froze. Luke smiled a little, but said nothing. Mia ran into my arms. "Look, I picked this for you." I hugged her tight. Her small arms wrapped around my neck. "Thank you, sweetheart," I said. She looked at Luke. "Daddy, can she stay forever?" Luke's voice was low. "If she wants to." Mia looked at me again. Her eyes were full of light. "Please." I felt my throat tighten. "Maybe I was always meant to stay," I whispered. Luke came closer. "Emma, I don't know how to thank you. You gave me my heart back." I smiled through tears. "You gave me a reason to believe again." He touched my hand. "Do you forgive me? For doubting you?" I nodded slowly. "Yes, I forgive you. I forgive them. I forgive myself. For a long time we just stood there. The ranch was quiet. The fire in the distance crackled softly. Luke whispered, "You brought God back to this house." I smiled. Maybe he never left. Maybe we just stopped listening. Mia placed the flower in my hair and giggled. "Now you look happy, Mama." I laughed, a sound I hadn't made in years. "I am, Mia. I really am." Luke's eyes were soft. "You know," he said, "I thought this ranch was cursed. But you changed everything. Even the storms feel lighter now." I looked around, the fences, the fields, the home that once frightened me. "This ranch saved me too," I said. The wrong road brought me to the right place. The wind picked up again. I closed my eyes and let it carry away the last pieces of pain. Luke whispered, "Emma?" "Yes?" "Stay." It was one word, but it felt like a promise. I smiled at him. "I'm already home." Mia laughed and spun in circles, singing a song about sunshine and rain. I held Luke's hand as the light faded behind the hills. The past was gone. The pain was gone. What remained was quiet love, stronger than anger, deeper than sorrow. The wrong ranch had become my home. I sat by the window with paper in my hand. The rain tapped softly on the glass. I could hear Mia's laughter outside, chasing the puppy around the yard. My heart was full and quiet. The past no longer shouted inside me. It only whispered. I wrote the first words slowly. "Dear Emma," I said to myself. That name felt like a ghost from another life. I had been weak, scared, and blind. But that girl had also been brave enough to survive. I needed to tell her that. "Dear Emma," I wrote, "you did not fail. You were hurt, but you didn't break. You lost your home, your promise, your truth, but you found something stronger. You found faith." I stopped and looked around the small room. It smelled like wood and hope. On the wall hung Mia's drawing of our little family, me, her, and Luke, all holding hands. My eyes burned with quiet tears. The door creaked open. Luke's voice came softly. "You're writing again?" "Yes," I said. "A letter I will never send." He stepped closer. "To who?" "To myself," I said. "To the girl I used to be." He sat across from me, his hands rough from work. "What are you telling her?" "That she can stop running now," I whispered. "That she doesn't need to hate anymore. That God didn't forget her." Luke smiled, small but warm. "You always talk like the rain listens to you." "Maybe it does," I said, smiling back. "The rain knows pain, but it also knows how to fall and still shine." He looked at the letter. "Can I read it?" "Not yet," I said. "It's not finished." He nodded and stayed silent. The fire cracked softly. Outside, the wind moved through the dry grass like a sigh. I went on writing. "You were betrayed," I wrote, "but you learned to forgive. You were lost, but you found a new home. Remember that pain teaches courage and love teaches peace. You once prayed for revenge, but God gave you healing instead." My hand trembled. Each word felt like closing a wound. Luke finally spoke. "You know," he said, "you changed this place." I looked up. "No, Luke. This place changed me." He leaned back, thinking. "I was cold before you came. I didn't believe in anything. Not love, not God, not life. Then you showed up, by mistake." I laughed softly. "The wrong bride, remember?" "The right one," he said. His voice broke a little. "You saved us all." The words hit deep inside me. "No," I whispered. "We saved each other." He reached across the table and took my hand. His palm was warm, steady. I felt peace travel through me like a quiet fire. Mia's laughter floated again through the open window. I folded the letter carefully. "I'll keep it here," I said. "Maybe one day Mia will read it. She should know that even broken hearts can find home again." Luke nodded. "She will know, because she lives in the home you built." I smiled. My eyes filled with tears that didn't hurt anymore. They felt clean, like rain washing dust from old wood. "Luke," I said softly, "do you believe in second beginnings?" He looked at me for a long time. "I do now." I leaned back, letting the sound of the rain wrap around us. My heart was calm. I thought about Daniel, about my family, about every night I had cried alone. I didn't hate them anymore. Their choices had pushed me here, to this strange, beautiful place where I finally found myself. I whispered the last words of my letter. "Thank you, God, for sending me to the wrong ranch." Luke smiled, hearing me. "Maybe it was never wrong," he said. "Maybe it was waiting." I closed my eyes and breathed in the smell of rain and wood. "Maybe," I whispered. "Maybe it was home all along." The candlelight flickered over the letter. I didn't need to send it. It had already reached where it belonged, inside me.